Oops. Sorry, I forgot to start my clock. Yeah, so this is Fragile, and here making a vlog about my sharing of my experience on self-forgiveness. I just want to say that I'm very tired that I have been going through for setting up my realtor business, and also have talked to several Chinese members in the Chinese forum that these days that has been very assisting me in practicing my Mandarin, and I'm very enjoying, like, I'm sharing my experience and my understanding with the Desteni materials and what videos that I know the contents about, and then they will ask questions about me, which exchange for opinions and things like that. So it's very interesting. I met some quite interesting people. So I want to share something about the self-forgiveness and my real experience of what it is like of using the self-forgiveness. First of all, the self-forgiveness is really like a real release of your past, of what you have accepted and allowed it in the past, and all sorts of guilt and all sorts of things that you think it has disappeared, but actually it doesn't. I mean, just like what the time interview at that time has come through the portal, and an interview saying that time does not exist. That everything that what you have done in the past is just compounding. For example, like I like to play first-person shooting video games about all sorts of killings and things like that. Becoming a soldier or a special force using a weapon. Things like that. And I have force of killings and things like that. That pops out very frequently. Now, when I know that I will still exist after I die, and I know the consequence of using pictures to masturbate, using either beings pictures, a female being's picture, or using an animation. I mostly use animations because I found they are more attractive, and they are, it's kind of like I found that I was reluctant to use a real being. I thought I was going to train myself and get too used to a real being that I might go actually molesting a woman or a girl in real life. So that's why I use animation beings most of the time, but actually they are the same. They are pretty much the same thing. So I think I have totally stopped masturbation for that period of time, and then I began to have thoughts of want to cut myself with a knife when I saw it on the kitchen table, and it's kind of like quite horrible. It's like when you see a pole on the ground, then I will have thoughts pop out. Then I want to push my head against the pole, and then stick the pole through my eyes. I know it sounds very horrible. I'm not trying to scare you or stimulate you, but actually that's truly what I had experienced. And like what Bernard and Desteni said, that the real nature of what people have suppressed will begin to come out, and which means they will act out what their thoughts are, instead of being suppressed into a system inside their body. So I really like to share my experience on self-forgiveness, of how self-honesty, self-forgiveness assists me in creating my points. For example, like when I see a butcher knife, then I would want to have force fresh out in my mind that I want to chop my hands off, and then for example, like when I was heating rice for lunch, then I will have a force of want to put my face against the hood of the hot electricity coil. And whenever I see birds or pigeons on the roof of my next to my house, then I would have force. It's not I want to, but I have force pops out that I want to burst them with a shotgun and things like that. So this force automatically pops out, and I don't know whether they are connected to it because I have watched many animations with brutality, with brutal scenes and force, and through that I pursue for excitement because I thought they were just stories, they were just mainly stories, mainly primarily from Japan, but the Japanese animation actually originated from the America, that characteristic in being brutal and pornography. And I look at myself and I narrow it down to that I was looking for stimulations, replacements for stimulations, for excitements, to replace masturbation, and inside my mind thought that those are exciting, that it's kind of like inside the mind you think that like sticking your head in the eyes inside in a pole, using a pole is exciting, just like ecstasy or things like that, but in real life it's not that. I mean, the horrible thing what I realized about the mind is what the rules of the mind is totally distorted. It's totally is not true. It's totally is not exactly what real life is, what real physical life is. It doesn't follow the physical rules. What you think exciting is totally it's like the mind. I'm not blaming the mind because it's kind of like the mind is that way. It's because what I have inside of me is that way. So that's why the mind is manifested. I mean, that's why I need to use self-forgiveness to clear my points out so that it won't reappear again, the force won't reappear again. So I wrote out my self-forgiveness detailedly, about why I want to experience masturbation through pain. It's kind of like using the pain energy as a substitute for masturbation, and that's what I thought. I'm not very quite sure. The only thing that I'm sure that is those thoughts after a couple of months corrective application that I'm able to stop them, that they won't appear again. Thinking pain is, it's kind of like equivalent to masturbation, because it's kind of like I have associated the pain and brutality as equivalent of masturbation. I need to clear the points out, and then need to correct myself through corrective application. Also, like on the killing video games, not killing the video games, but about video games that kill for first-person shootings, and looking for excitements. I played a couple of hours each day in the past, that I was just obsessed into keep killing and keep killing and keep killing, and because you thought those are just figures. You wouldn't think that at that moment you're actually desperately participating in want to kill someone. I mean, inside it, there's no different when you play shooting video games to kill something on the screen. what's inside you, you are exactly experiencing the same as a murderer that wanted to kill someone. The difference is you are training yourself to kill and simulating. Actually, it's not simulating, it's what you have accepted and allowed it yourself, and you have become that. You have accepted and allowed yourself to become a killer through the video games. Then you will become the nature of a killer. It's stuff like that. So I wrote out the self-forgiveness detailedly about how I wanted to get through the experience the excitements through killings in the video games, and find the source of why I want to do that, and forgive them detailedly, totally, self-honestly. So for example, it would be like I forgive myself that I have set allowed myself to want to use the video games to pursue excitement energetically. You really have to have an attitude that you want to get rid of the points, else you won't be detailed enough. Like, I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to want to kill someone. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to use killing as a sport. That through killing I got satisfaction and excitement. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have disregard everyone as self as me, that I shouldn't kill anyone or anything unnecessarily. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to want to win in a killing and treating it as a sport. Like that, you really have to go to the source of why you want to do that, and clearing the source out through self-forgiveness. At first, there's only just a release in the solar plexus area. So after I wrote out those self-forgiveness, for the first few months, those thoughts will still pops out, but it's kind of like they will fade out a little bit. They will gradually fading out. The thoughts will fade out. And later on, after I joined the SRA, I used muscle communication to test out what's the cause of those thoughts. Like, I look up in the list, in the feelings and emotion list, and the dictionary to find out what is the cause of some particular thoughts, why, and how do I clear them. It's kind of like you pinpoint a tree. If the tree is the problem, is your problem, that if you just cut the branches, it won't have much effect on the whole problem, the whole tree. But if you aim at the stem, or even at the root, then it will be more efficient for you to have a chance to successfully curing your problems, which is the tree, by aiming at the stem, at the trunk. And the muscle communication is like the tool for you to find a trunk of the problem of the tree. So I don't participate and I don't go into those thoughts, but that's not enough. I mean, you have to really self-forgive those points, clearly locate the source, and then correct myself in seeing that everything is me. Everything is a self as me. That that I shouldn't hurt myself, or even want to chop my hands off to get excitement. To see that how horrible the mind has become, my mind has become. That will disregard everything. Just want, as long as I get the mind got energy, then you didn't care for anything and for any consequences. And right now they are saying, Desteni is saying that they are making what your true nature will be to come out, so that you can face your problems, so that it won't be suppressed or it won't be happened on someone else, that you will be facing your own consequences. And I'm telling you that self-forgiveness really assists me in clearing the points out. So I keep doing it in about 3 months. Sometimes if force happens again, then I write some more self-forgiveness and try to use muscle communication to locate the points that I need to do self-forgiveness on. Stuff like from 3 months or a couple of months later, then I don't have force like that pops out again. And as Sunette said, which is the girl, the portal that's inside her, told me that there are some force that, like, there are certain systems and manifestations inside ourselves, that there's some force at a more shadow layer, certain level, that is easier to walk out, that is easier, that you can just use a simple self-forgiveness. Actually, it's not simple, it's just it's easier for you to clear the points out. But there are some, depends on how you participate, how long have you been participating, integrated with the system, that there are some that is more difficult, that you will need a longer time to walk the paths, to clear the self-forgiveness, to use self-forgiveness to clear the points out, and stop the mind, no, not the mind, but stop yourself, stop your nature, so that this force won't comes out, because this force are reflecting what you have inside. If you have the nature of authority inside, then you have authority force, like that. And I can feel that I am clear inside of me for the killing and for authority, for pursuing, for killing, for excitement and things like that. And I'm so happy. Why? Because right now when I see a bird, I can really enjoy seeing the bird, just like when I was a child. That, I mean, it won't be so horrible that whenever I see a bird or a plane or something, for example, like so horrible that, like, when I see a jumbo plane, because I live in an airport that's close to an airport, in Vancouver, and whenever I see a plane fly by, then I will have a force to want to explode it, or things like that. And whatever you thought, you think in the force, it will manifest or something like that. Well, and even if it doesn't manifest, it's something that's horrible, because you keep having thoughts like that. It's kind of like we're troubling you, distorting your normal life. Yeah, so thank you very much. That's my sharing for how to use how to use self-forgiveness and my experience on the self-forgiveness.